Valve's operating system will dominate gaming. And it already kind of has been. I thought about downloading it. I thought about getting a handheld and just wiping it and putting the Valve system on it. Oh, well, you're getting a like anyway, Mr. 30K subscribers, man. Water CS2.
SteamOS for PC and third-party manufacturers, and years later, SteamOS 3 still has no official release. But now, Valve just added new branding logos and guidelines. One is for SteamOS, hinting that Valve is getting closer to letting others use it for their own devices. But we also just learned about a new Valve device, codenamed Fremont. SteamOS is Valve's Linux-based operating system that became available in 2013.
Are we about to get to the era where we buy the box and put the operating system that we want to use on it ourselves? Are we getting to that point? That's basically like PC though, but it's simpler. I like it because you don't have to worry about parts, really. You can just get yourself one system, and it can be handheld if you want it. Yeah, we're getting to a weird area where we're just having everything. We're getting everything.
After various versions throughout the years, like version 1 Alchemist and version 2 Brewmaster, which are now both discontinued, plus the SteamOS Clockwork prototype, which is also discontinued, Valve is currently using version 3, known as Hollow, that you can find on the Steam Deck. SteamOS 3 is built on a rolling release distribution based on Arch Linux. It has a KDE Plasma desktop and a Proton layer, and has been fully optimized for gaming with a direct Steam integration. The open source nature of SteamOS encourages community involvement and customization, the exact opposite of Windows. The thing is, when Valve released the Steam Deck with SteamOS 3, no public version ever came out, although they have confirmed they are working on it. In the Steam repo, it says, an installer for you.
When they come out with it, yeah, I'm definitely gonna try it. I've actually wanted to start a Linux. Maybe I'll even start a Linux channel because I do use Linux a lot. I'm always playing with it, almost every day. Could make weekly Linux videos. I don't know. Let me know what I should do with that.
Use on generic PC hardware is planned, but not currently available. Also, in the Steam Deck booklet,
maybe I'll just make a video on gaming on Linux every so often, because it's really easy. You see all these guys like, I switched to Linux, and they don't know what they're doing, or other guys that are like, here, I'll show you how to switch to Linux, and then it's overcomplicated. It's so easy. They always show you the wrong things, and everybody always says that, but like, it's so easy anyway.
Says we'll soon be shipping a general installer for SteamOS, enabling any PC to take advantage of all of its features. In addition, we'll soon be making SteamOS available for other manufacturers who wish to make a gaming device of their own. But it's already been multiple years and still no official release date has been set for SteamOS 3. It's not even like it's something Valve quietly cancelled, as in August 2024, Lawrence Yang of Valve Designers said, the team is continuing to work on adding support for additional handhelds on SteamOS. Valve is making steady progress, but it isn't ready to run out of the box yet. So the real negative of SteamOS 3 is that it was originally built for the Steam Deck, which means that we have to wait until Valve makes it compatible with other hardware. So if you have been waiting for your own Steam machine, it might not be as far away as you think. This week, Valve shared a new brand guideline document for third-party software, hardware, and games. They all depend on their official use, like VR, or if you can play Steam at a brick-and-mortar location, but the main new icon...
Dude, if we get to the point where we've got, like, good VR on something like a Steam Deck or any kind of handheld, we're getting to some crazy territory, especially with if we just got something that's like the Oculus, just fits right over your eyes. You know, that we're getting to ridiculous territory.
We need to talk about is powered by Steam.
We're getting to the cyberpunk era. Cyberpunk 2077 is becoming real life.
SteamOS. The Powered by SteamOS logo indicates that a hardware device will run the SteamOS and boot into SteamOS upon powering on the device. Partners/manufacturers will ship hardware with a Steam image in the form provided by and/or developed in close collaboration with Valve. So now that they have this publicly available, it indicates Valve has made a lot of progress for SteamOS 3 and allowing others to use it. It's important to know that this icon is only for third-party manufacturers, and there isn't anything new for using SteamOS on the PC, which might just come a bit later. Last year, when asked...
So right now, it's looking like it's only going to be available on handhelds on install or with handhelds that have components that are compatible.
Asked about a release for SteamOS 3, Valve designer Lawrence Yang said, "It's very high on our list. It's on our list and we are working on it. But a lot of the same people that would make the general install of SteamOS available are the same people that are making Galileo, which is the Steam Deck OLED, work. We're hoping soon though. It's very high on our list and we want to make..."
So sometime after the new Steam Deck releases, maybe.
SteamOS more widely available. We'll probably start with making it more available to other handhelds with a similar gamepad style controller, and then further beyond that to more arbitrary devices. I think the biggest thing is just, driver support and making sure that it can work on whatever PC it happens to land on. Because
imagine if we get a Steam phone, that'd be crazy.
Right now, it's very tuned for a Steam Deck. Now that it is the holiday season, instead of opening up cases and getting nothing, Clash GG is running a Christmas event. They are raffling away a souvenir of Dragonlord Kool-Aid.
No,
every
I don't like gambling.
Free more Water
Sorry.
Gamers did excited for Valve to challenge Microsoft with Windows. Even if you're not interested in handheld gaming, although it keeps growing with Sony and Xbox now making their own handhelds, Valve's plan for a PC installer will be a massive game changer. SteamOS is a free operating system designed for gamers by Valve. When Linus did a performance test of SteamOS 3 versus Windows 10, SteamOS had a higher average frame per second for every game they tested. This is great if you are...
Same for me too on just my regular Linux machine. It's like, I get like a 10% boost pretty much across the board.
A gamer who cares about performance. But this is just one of the many things Valve is working on right now. We just got to see new models for their Roy Deckard controllers and also the Steam controller too, with Valve announcing raising the...
That looks interesting. They look like ping pong paddles almost.
Controllers and also the Steam controller.
But that looks really interesting. If that's actually a concept design and not just something that he found, just put a clip in there. That looks very interesting too. But those buttons look kind of big. I don't see this being an actual real thing.
Controller 2. With Valve announcing Raising the Bar 2 coming out in 2025, we have an exciting time ahead of us, especially as we keep getting more information about whatever else Valve could be working on behind the scenes. SteamOS was originally designed as a living room experience, allowing you to play PC games without a mouse and keyboard. So, with the Steam Controller 2 getting closer, could we see them released together? It would make perfect sense to take advantage of Valve's operating system with a new controller, which is also heavily based on the design of the Steam Deck that already uses SteamOS 3.
Because they make sense on the Steam Deck, but they're just kind of big on a controller. I feel like they would get accidentally pressed, unless they're embedded into it like this is, but still, it just looks bulky and weird on a controller.
This wasn't all that has been recently found. Reddit user CoolBHO3K found a new SteamOS device Valve is working on, codenamed Fremont. In a recent update by Valve, they found this change in the Steam Deck kernel of a Valve dev testing HDMI CEC for a new device that is being developed on AMD Lilac. The current tests for AMD Lilac show that it is significantly faster than a Steam Deck, and going by what we know so far for the Fremont, which is very little, all speculation is for it to be a TV box console that uses SteamOS. This adds on to all the other products Valve is working on right now that keep getting closer. It's very similar to when Valve showed off their hardware product.
So they really want to make it just plug and play with games, plug and play. You don't have to tinker with it or nothing. Just plug it into your TV and go. And that's just, they got a whole system going, man. They're basically their own like console company that's like Xbox and PlayStation at this point.
Back in 2015. With Valve's Steam Controller 2, you would need SteamOS 3 to take advantage of it, which, with Valve's upcoming Fremont device, you could easily turn your TV into a Steam console. Now that you are up in gaming, Valve also has their new Deckard they are planning, a wireless head-mounted display with brand new controllers on the way. The interesting thing...
That's funny, Xbox is doing the exact same thing. They want to turn your TV into a console.
Is almost 10 years ago in 2015, Valve showed off a bunch of their new tech, and here we are coming up on the 10-year anniversary. We keep learning new info about devices Valve is working on right now, so what are the chances Valve comes out with a similar announcement, but with brand new products in 2025? I'm excited to see what Valve plans are for the Fremont and every other upcoming device. Valve looked at their failures and the successes with their previous products to improve on what they're currently working on. So what are your thoughts on a plug-in box with SteamOS? This isn't a new idea by Valve, but it would be done with their new standard for hardware. It's important to note that any download for SteamOS that's out right now is either extremely outdated or is an unofficial SteamOS 3, so make sure you wait until Valve comes out with their official release. It won't be long until SteamOS is being used on third-party devices, which means the SteamOS 3 release for PC won't be long after.
And that's what I'll be waiting for. I really want to check that out. Hopefully it's great. I would totally... If it's viable to move my system over to SteamOS for everything that I'm doing right now, I would totally do it.
In a recent SteamOS update, Valve added support for extra ROG Ally keys, which is confirmed by Valve to be related to third-party support for SteamOS. So how much longer until SteamOS is on another device? I'm curious how interested you are.
Man, Windows better watch out. Steam's gonna take over the console and handheld market. I see Windows trying to get it. They got Windows 11 on these handhelds, but it just it doesn't work as well. I think it's not going to work as well as Linux, the SteamOS.
Are in using SteamOS 3 for your PC. In the November 2024 Steam survey, Windows dominates on a margin that isn't even close as Linux sits with 2%. But what will happen when Valve makes SteamOS public? Could we see a large-scale shift over time? Valve is one of the top liked companies in
They will if it's better.
terms of gaming and software in general. So will you use their operating system that is designed specifically for gamers? Or what?
It's going to get people used to the Linux system. So when they actually get to like professional level, when they get out of just regular basic gaming and go to a PC, they're going to be more likely to use Linux because they already know Linux. And I think that is an incredibly good thing.
What are your thoughts on any of their new devices that will be taking advantage of SteamOS 3? Valve has said SteamOS will continue to evolve, including new features and improvements to game compatibility through Proton that will
Man, that just means that all of this is going to be coming to the rest of the Linux community for us to use. Hopefully all of it, but at least most of it will. And it's just going to be so good. I can smell it. I can smell it.
Continue throughout Steam Deck's life well into the future versions of the product, and the compatibility work for Steam Deck will be inherited by other platforms like Chrome OS. Anyway, this is a multi-generational product line. Valve will support Steam Deck and SteamOS well into the foreseeable future. We will learn from the Steam community about new uses for our hardware that we haven't thought of yet, and we will build new versions, so make sure you subscribe to not miss what device Valve decides to release next.
That was a good video. I'm glad I gave it a like early. Water CS2. I'll give you a subscribe too, even though I didn't like the gambling ad in the middle of it. But yeah, Steam's gonna end up dominating the Windows market, really, not just the gaming market. This is the Windows market, and it's gonna hurt them. And they're already hurting a little bit. They may be seeing better profits than they've ever seen, but like they're gonna have to be switching their business away from gaming because they're losing badly. Especially like what Xbox games are coming out in the future, and where are they going to be releasing them?